GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered. And that's MVS and Justin Watson with some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up with Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is
Dude,
he? How good is he? Let's get it, baby. GMGP. It is Monday, December 8th, 2025. Y'all beautiful, fine people decided to get y'all tired asses up on this Monday and wake up with my brother from another mother, Jordan Richards, and myself. You can find me at Ray GQ. Find him at your boy JRich's Wake Up with Ray and Jay. I know, I was about to say at your boy Ray GQ, but no, that's you, JRich. Every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday, unless it is anniversary or holiday week, or in JRich's case, he won't be here on Monday. Damn it, I don't know if he'll be on Wednesday, but he will be in Foxborough for the Buffalo Bills New England Patriots game. Let's go, JRich. Let's go, baby. I'm excited for you, baby. That's going to be a fun one. But we got the good people in the building today, and we got a lot to talk about. Jay, we got to talk about Shedeur versus Cam Ward. The AFC West Chiefs go down. We try to tell the people, Jay? I tried to tell the people. We picked the Houston Texans to win the game, and what happened? Went out there and put belt to you know what. We got to talk the Monday Night Football game. Of course, pair of rookies in New Orleans balling out. Puka, Nacua, Michael Wilson balling out. JRich, quarterback issues, man. Jets going down. Colts going down quick. What the hell is going to happen towards the end of the season? College football playoffs. We're going to touch on that. Big show today. I see my boy D-Bro in the building. JRich, hit that air horn for D-Bro. Nine had a good game. D-Bro in the building early, baby. Let's go. We need the whole crew in the building. What's up, D-Bro? Shout out my dog, D-Bro, man, over at Fantasy Pros. We got Luke in the building. Adam Zaff, what's up with you, baby? What's up, Adam? Y'all got a game tonight. Adam is an Eagles fan. What's up with you, Adam? I see Jeff in the building. I see Jose in the building. Patrick, Ricardo, what's popping with you? Coach, Jeremiah, what's going down with you? Christian Watson, hey, Christian Watson, you got to trust it. JRich, I continue to tell the people, you got to trust it. Christian Watson, got to trust it. League winner. Mr. Richards, how was your weekend? How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's funny that D-Bro's been a little absent from the chat recently, but
I ain't seen that D-Bro,
but you know, 9 has a good game, throws 3 touchdowns. You know, all of a sudden he's back. He wants to hear us praise 9, right? 9's back up. That 9 stock, you know, right? It's on the way up. Do we need to maybe revisit those QB ranks because now he's headed back up again, right?
We're gonna revisit. We're not gonna revisit it yet, JRich. Not yet, but man, it's good to be here with you, man. Back on our regular schedule. Monday, we were off last week, but yeah, we got a lot to talk about. And unfortunately, for a lot of people out there, JRich, it is the end of the road for them for fantasy football. Hit that sad trombone. It's the end of the road out there for a lot of folks out here. Jay, I don't know. Can you hear my sound? Can you hear me? You can hear it? Okay, it's clean. I'm old school. I got the wired joints in today, so I can hear a little bit.
GQ in the house.
Unk in the building for real today, man. For real in the building. But yeah, Jay, we got a lot to talk about. Good people in the chat today. Hit us up, comment. We got a big show. We're going to cover as much of it as we possibly can. But I do want to start off quickly, JRich, because one of the themes over the weekend that a lot of people were very much tapped into was some college football, man. College football playoffs are set. JRich, college football playoffs are set. Your 4 number 1 seeds, they get the bye, or top 4 seeds. Indiana, number 1 in the. How did they go from nobody showing up to damn number 1 team in the country? Great job by Sig out there. Great job by, I know Hoosiers fans are excited, man. Crazy. Indiana and Duke conference champs in football, not basketball. We got Ohio State, the Ohio State reigning national champs. They fell one spot to 2. Georgia took care of business versus Bama at 3. We got Texas Tech representing the Big 12 as the 4th seed. They get that home game. They're off. They'll face the winner of JMU. You know what that JMU is, JRich? You ever watch that James Madison play versus Oregon, Alabama, Oklahoma, Tulane, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin gone? Did you see the Trinidad Chambliss commercial?
No.
Did you see it? They ran it. They ran it on Saturday. And it's like Ole Miss banner. He's in Ole Miss blue, and it's his decision. Is he going to transfer? And they're talking, because Lane is gone. So they're like, hey, are you going to transfer? And he's like, man, I'm going to do what's in the best decision for me and do this. And then he said, I am transferring. And then he puts on an AT&T hat. It was an AT&T commercial. But you know what they were getting at, right? Like, Lane is gone.
Very timely,
Yeah, I stopped because I'm like, what the hell is this, man? But well done, AT&T, well done. But are you excited for the college football playoffs, Jay?
Sure. I mean,
come on, man.
Do I want to see JMU go to Eugene for a game against the Ducks? Probably not. Like, I wanted to ask you this, Ray, because me and some of my buddies were arguing about this. And would you consider Indiana a modern Cinderella story in college football and the way and the landscape that college football is today? Because it's 2 years, the rebuild, obviously still made the playoff last year with Cignetti. Now they've won the Big Ten after transferring all those guys from JMU, bringing in, Mendoza. Mendoza probably going to win the Heisman. I don't know if you get much better than this. Now, again, it may come down the line. We have the 12-team playoff. Teams are going to get in that, maybe deserve to get in, but definitely are not viewed as juggernauts. But you look at Indiana and you say, how the hell did they get here so fast? And it does seem like they are kind of like a modern-day story. As far as the games, I don't know, man. I'm going to watch the Ohio State games because I like Ohio State. Bama, Oklahoma maybe could be interesting, but until we kind of get to the semifinal and the final, I don't know if I'll be watching a whole lot because it feels like we're headed for quite a few blowouts.
Yeah, somebody in the chat already said it. Cam Frost said 17.5 and 21.5 point spreads in the playoffs in capital letters. Listen, I love college football, so I think it will be fun. I think JMU will go out there and put up. Listen, I'm old. I know you don't remember this, but I'm old enough to remember when Boise State had no business on the field against Oklahoma. I remember when, you know what I mean? I remember Jared Zambransky with the Statue of Liberty play to beat the Oklahoma Sooners. Anything can happen, man. Appalachian State over Michigan is 20 years ago, but these things have happened. I love college football. I'm excited for the playoffs. They definitely need to expand. A lot of people pissed off at Notre Dame right now because they opted out. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, what's the point? The players came together with the coaches and they said, we don't want to do this. No, can you name 5 bowl games outside the playoffs anyway? The bowl
at this point, no.
No one cares about the bowl games anymore.
Bowl games are now the playoff games.
They got to change a lot of stuff, man. They got to change a lot of stuff. No one gives a shit about the Pop-Tart Bowl. Nobody cares.
I had this thought, Ray, yesterday, and let me know your thoughts on this. What if college football became conference play only into a 32-team playoff? Now, a 32-team playoff sounds ridiculous, but if you're only playing 8-9 conference games, which I think in the case of the SEC, it's 8 games, and then the Big Ten, it's 9 games, and then you get into a deeper playoff, so the games are very similar, do you think that style format is what we're kind of trending towards with college football? Because as you're saying, if Notre Dame is opting out of a bowl game and they'd be in the highest profile bowl game that obviously isn't a playoff game at this stage, at that point, you have to basically do without bowl games and go head first into this playoff format.
We'll get there. There'll be some semblance of a March Madness for college. We're getting there. Too much money. Nobody cares about the meaningless bowl games. Everybody wants to get in the dance. If you're not in the dance, who cares?
That's how it seems,
what benefit, right? That's what it feels like. It's trending that way. I'm excited for it. I think it should be fun. And there will be a lot of NFL draft implications all throughout the college football playoffs.
Whose stock rises the most, Ray? That's what people want to know.
We will talk about the potential number 1 overall pick here shortly, JRich. We will talk about him shortly, but let's get into some NFL action, okay? Let's get into some NFL action. And I just looked this up. I'm just kind of messing with this thing as we're getting ready for the show. This portal. Have you seen this?
I have not.
This is actually, I need to zoom out some so you guys can see. see the full thing, but it's actually got the full freaking like game recap score. It's got a feed to where everything from the game is in it. It's actually kind of cool. We're going to use it today instead of that old ESPN. So let's talk through it, man. The Houston Texans, big dub. 20-10 Houston Texans victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and them fall, JRich. I don't know how many years it's been, but it's felt like a long time since they have not won the AFC West. What are we going on? Damn near a decade?
Years. They're going for 10
decade.
years. Yeah, back
10
in
years.
2015 when Denver won it and won
Crazy. Dude, I was just finishing, like, really just done with school at that point. I was 2 years into my professional career when in 2015, which is it's crazy. 10 years ago, man. A lot has changed in 10 years. But Kansas City Chiefs, they will not be the head of the AFC West anymore. CJ Stroud and company got it done defensively. We continue to talk about how strong this Houston Texans defense is. My goodness. And it was pressure city. It was sticky coverage. The leading receiver, Xavier Worthy, 55 yards in the game. Rashee Rice didn't get his fourth catch until late in the fourth quarter. JRich, I've continued to talk about it all year long. I tweeted it out last night. This Chiefs team has not looked the same since when, Jay?
27, Kareem Hunt.
Since they had old Kareem Hunt when he wore number 27, not 29. Patrick Mahomes once again led them in rushing, which never is a good thing. And listen, I like him more than y'all. One of my first interviews at the Senior Bowl, SMU product, right? Transferred in from my SMU product, yeah. Brashard Smith. He's not the answer. Okay, they need a real running back, JRich, like a real one, a 3-down, 5'11", 215-pound running back, a Jeremiah Love type of running back. Having Patrick Mahomes lead your damn team in rushing week in and week out is not a recipe for success. They don't like this offense. This iteration of Kansas City, it needed to die. It needed to go away. And I saw it was a tweet out there that said this is a good thing because everybody wanted to put Mahomes in that Brady category already. But they were like, what he needs to do now is reinvent himself in his 30s, right? Get the Kelsey Hill era is over, right? Let's see you take a new iteration of Kansas City back to the promised land, win multiple Super Bowls there. Then we can talk about you being the GOAT. But this iteration of the Kansas City Chiefs that we kind of knew and grew up to love with Patrick Mahomes is over. It's a wrap, JRich. Kelsey is too old now. They've got to find other weapons. They can't run the ball. The offensive line is decimated. And even with the great defense, you've got to be able to score points. Just talk about this game from Kansas City's side, and then we'll touch on Houston.
Yeah, I mean, the KC side, I don't want to say it was predictable, but it kind of went the way a lot of people thought it would go. It was going to be very tough for Mahomes and the team to move the ball against this Houston defense. They're number one in scoring defense. They're top 5 against the pass and the run. We know how sticky they are in coverage. We know how great the pass rush is, so they can still drop 7 into coverage. Like, this is what happens when you're a one-dimensional team, and in a one-dimensional team that's not playing overly well, we focused a little bit too much on that 3-game stretch when they destroyed the Raiders. And then I think they played the Titans as well. So they just had a very good stretch of games, and the offense was kind of clicking. Rashee Rice was back. We thought, just maybe the Kansas City Chiefs could be back. But now we're in a situation where it's like they're playing good teams again, right? They're not playing these crappy teams in the middle of the schedule. They're playing the good teams again, and they're not even playing teams that we thought would be dominant, right? Houston, we knew had a great defense, but the offense is still a big question mark, and Kansas City was only able to put up 10 points at home. The big takeaway this season has been this team can win at home, but they can't win on the road. Well, now they're not winning at home either. And you talk about, this team and the iteration of this team, and definitely they have to reinvent themselves, and Brady even had a long stretch where he and the team had to figure out what their identity was, and ultimately they became great again. But yeah, this team just doesn't work. And I'm not sure why it doesn't work. The offensive line's been a problem for a few years. Obviously, they have no running game. It seems like, at least from NFL standards, the receivers are good enough. But for whatever reason, it's not happening on the field, despite having Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and all these great offensive minds at the helm. And the defense is still pretty solid. So it's definitely an interesting situation, but it's another situation where Kansas City got so lucky last year, and you kind of knew that with all the one-score games that they won, to now it seems like things are kind of working against them, and it's kind of showing out on the field and ultimately costing them games in the end. But 6-7 was definitely not something we had in the cards for this KC team. They're better than this, but definitely their record is
No,
what it
they're
is
not.
because they've
They're
been
not
poor
better than this.
offensively.
No, they're not better than this. They're not better than this. This is exactly. They're not. They're not. Jay. They're not better than. They're not.
Than this.
No, they're not. If they were, they would be. They're not better than this. Like I get what
If
you're.
that's how you want to put it, that's fine.
No, I get what you're saying. Like Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. I think Patrick Mahomes is an awesome quarterback.
But you wouldn't compare them to the Dolphins. But that's the record they have.
We're not comparing them to the Dolphins. We're comparing them to themselves. We're comparing them to the version of the Kansas City Chiefs that you, myself, and a lot of people thought they would be this season. They're not that good with those expectations in mind. Like they're 6-7, right? So they're not a bottom of the barrel NFL team, but they're I'm picking inside the top 15 team right now, and they probably need to retool a little bit. Let's go to the Houston side of the ball. CJ Stroud's second game back from his concussion. Wasn't a big game from Stroud. Didn't need to have a big game. And maybe this is the version of CJ Stroud Houston needs them. He needs him to be right now. Be that point guard. Be that distributor. He understands the assignment. Get the ball to Nico Collins. Hey.
Yeah.
Even though Nico was running in Jay, Nico looked like he was strapped up. He had the bungees behind him on that long run. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Run, Nico. Speed up. Nico looked like he was running in mud. He got the ball to Nico Collins, targeted him 12 times. And more surprisingly was Woody Marks in the usage from him. I mean, dude, I'm watching the game, and I felt for him every hit. I mean, the Houston and Kansas City defenses were laying wood in the game. And I mean straight lumber, JRich. That's what they were out there doing, laying wood. Jordan Richards, that's what was happening. And Woody was getting banged up, but he kept running the ball. And what have I continued to say about Houston, right? Even though it's not efficient, even though he's not running for 5 yards, they stay committed to the ground game. Keep the offense on schedule. Open up the play action, some of the downfield shots for Stroud and Houston. Woody was awesome, JRich. Woody Marks was awesome. Nick Chubb got banged up early. What are your thoughts on the Houston side of the ball?
I mean, they did enough to win the game, right?
They did enough to win the game.
Timely throws. You know, they stayed balanced with Woody still getting 26 carries, which feels unsustainable going forward for Woody. But, you know, you looked at that long of 8 on the game. That was actually the game-sealing carry that got in the first down late in the fourth quarter. So it's one of those situations where we know this team is limited offensively, and they've kind of been that all year. They lean on their defense. They punt and play the field position game. But Stroud was great when it needed to be great, and Woody made enough plays to ultimately come away with a victory. That's just what this Houston Texans team is, and it's what they're going to be for the rest of the season. I kind of hope they can get a bit more going offensively because, you know, Jaden Higgins has looked a little bit better. Dalton Schultz kind of doing his thing, right? Noel is coming on as well, and obviously they still have Nico Collins. I don't know what's wrong with Stroud, but hopefully he can play a little bit better. But even still, like if this team makes it into the wild card, which is where they are right now, maybe they can still push for a division because there is time for that. They're going to be a tough team to beat. Whether it's at home or on the road, this defense is traveling very, very well, and you do not want to play Houston in the playoffs at all. But do you think that this team could really make a push for, let's say, an AFC championship game with the way they're presently constructed?
Yes. Yeah. I think they're one of the best teams in football. I know it started off rocky for them, but defensively, they got all the components there. And offensively, if you got the quarterback, the offensive line is a problem. They need to go straight O-line in the draft. The O-line is a problem. But CJ Stroud he was pressured a lot, but they didn't get to him a ton. Got to fix the O-line. They can't really run the ball that great. And I think they need hopefully Nick Chubb, I don't know what his injury status is, but hopefully he's not out too long because I don't think you want Woody absorbing, 30 plus attempts, touches in a game, keep him fresh. But yeah, I think defensively, this team is for real. And they've got the components enough on offense to, I think, at least make it interesting. And I do want to stay with the AFC South. Since we're talking about Houston in the AFC South, we're switching up the order of the show just a little bit, Jay. Let's talk about Colts and the Jags, the leader of the AFC South right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Big win against the Indianapolis Colts this past weekend, Jay. The big takeaway from this one, you know what it is, I know what it is. Quarterback situation for Indianapolis, man. Not good. Daniel Jones, Achilles injury. I don't think has it been reported that it's a torn Achilles, but that's what it is. Like that's what it's going to be. Torn Achilles for Daniel Jones. Yeah, tears Achilles and lost to Jaguars 36-19. Let's start off with the winning team, Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence. I don't know where Keegan is in the chat, JRich, but T-Law, I said it on Friday. I said I predicted him to finish the week as a top 10 quarterback, right? I don't know if he made it there because he didn't run one in.
He just fell short, yeah.
I don't think he made it there, but he played well. 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions for Trevor Lawrence. More importantly, Travis Etienne is running the ball like a maniac. He looked good. It was a physical game, right? 20 carries. You run the ball 20 times. You get in the zone twice. You have a good game. Brian Thomas Jr. got loose down the field a couple of times, a couple of big shots for BTJ, so he was kind of back to a degree. Jacoby Myers back in the end zone once again, and no Parker Washington on the field because he was injured. Brenton Strange was also serviceable for Jacksonville. Talk about the Jags, man. They're 9-4 right now, Jay, leading the AFC South, and still a small outside chance at that top seed, right? They still mathematically in the mix.
Very much so, yeah. They're only 2 games behind the Patriots right now.
For the top seed. I said that, the Patriots would have to lose pretty much every game down the stretch to get them, to allow that. But the point is that they look like they're coasting for a playoff spot this year, Jay. Talk about Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, this offense, this defense, how good it is. Jonathan Taylor, another game since his 244-yard performance. I said it on Friday, hadn't had a 100-yard performance since then. It has been tough sledding for the Colts, who have not looked good after the bye, Jay, and now they are down their starting quarterback. Let's talk about the game first and then the fallout of the injury.
Yeah, I mean, injury aside, this wasn't much of a football game. The Jaguars took it to them very early in this game. Trevor Lawrence, I thought, he had some miscues here or there, but he also made some phenomenal throws against this Colts defense. Whether it was deep balls to Brian Thomas Jr., Tim Patrick made a few very timely catches. And
you got to put that Tim Patrick in there. Yeah.
And then the big thing is Jacoby Myers, in my opinion, Ray, has unlocked this offense. Okay. This GM in Gladstone and Liam Cohen went out, and we thought they overpaid for Jacoby Myers. And we're like, how are you paying, I think it was a 4th and a 6th at the time for Jacoby Myers, especially because they have to re-sign him. But the offense has looked so much better since they got him, right? And it's weird because you say, well, what is the reasoning behind that? Is he like in that Chris Godwin role that we hoped, one of these receivers could fill? And what's the reasoning behind this? Because obviously Hunter got hurt. But it's so much better. Jacoby Myers knows where he needs to be. He runs the jet sweep, so he has some little bit of rush appeal as well. He's getting open underneath for Trevor Lawrence. He's kind of like that easy button target for him, along with Brenton Strange. I just think it's made the offense so much better. And it doesn't really matter who's on the outside. Having players that can kind of open things up in the middle while still having outside threats. They're running, deep go balls from the slot with BTJ, and that's working. I just think this offense is running so much more efficiently. And then you have ETN still running the ball extremely well. Doing the dirty work and also breaking off big runs. I think Liam Cohen's doing a really good job, especially after we saw them kind of struggle for a few weeks. Now they reinvented themselves after the bye, and they're playing great football once again. I think the problem now is how good is this Jags team? Because they're already better than we expected. They're trending towards winning the AFC South if they can beat Houston one more time. And it's how far can this Jags team really go? Because as you mentioned, the defense is playing very well. Offensively, they seem to be very, very good. It's going to kind of depend on how good Trevor Lawrence can play. But I do think this offense is getting better week over week. As long as Brian Thomas Jr. stays healthy and continues to play fairly well, I think they have enough weapons there, or at least enough weapons that can get open and make plays to where they probably can make some noise. But I really like what we're seeing from Jacksonville because I don't know what it was, but they struggled in that midseason, and now they seem to be flying high once again like they were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think the Jags are for real. Defensively, they're a tough defensive team. They run the ball. Again, it may not be efficient every single week, but they are committed to running the ball. Get the ball to ETN. Tootin didn't do anything in this game. And when Trevor Lawrence plays mistake-free football, it gives their team a chance to win. He point guards that thing, gives his team a chance to win, and I think they are very well coached. The real story for me on this one is the big bet that the Indianapolis Colts made that has blown
100%.
up right now,
100%.
right? And it's easy today to be like, bad bet, right? You traded those first for Sauce. He got hurt. He got hurt last week. Daniel Jones tore his Achilles tendon. Here's what I'll say, man. It was a big bet. It was a big swing, and players playing with one leg severely injured, it never ends well. Every sport this shit happens, JRich. NBA, NFL, anytime one side of the leg is compromised and then the player goes out there and guts through it, like Daniel Jones, he tore his opposite Achilles, right? Yeah. From the fibia fracture.
Laboring,
Yeah, so he's got a damn broken leg. He's hobbling around out there. You can see it. He's clearly less than 100%. Pops his Achilles tendon, Jay. Now the Colts are down the cornerback that they traded for, and I don't know when Sauce is going to be back. They're down the quarterback that they made the bet on, and they're down 2 first-round picks. Where does Indy go from here?
What do you mean? They go straight to the toilet where they belong. It was a terrible bet. You can say that it wasn't a bad bet at the time, but like if you watch the NFL and you kind of understand what they're trying to do and the situation they put themselves in, they put the cart before the horse. They thought they had a franchise quarterback, and you came on here and you said, you know, if you're going to do this, you think Daniel Jones is your franchise quarterback.
Yep.
And my hesitation has always been whether it's Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, like you can't just look at a half-season sample size, or in the case of Sam Darnold, even a full-season sample size, and not ignore the obvious at the end, right? Minnesota got rid of Sam Darnold because he wasn't that guy when it counted, and that's okay for certain teams. You know, if you don't believe he's your guy, that's fine. But I think the big problem here is the Colts had one successful half season, and they traded their entire future for a corner at that. That is, they're going to be paying $30 million next season. They don't have a quarterback for next season right now because Daniel Jones isn't going to be the answer with the torn Achilles. And I think the problem too, Ray, is that I almost feel like this injury bails out the Colts from a really bad trade. Because everyone in this chat that watches the show regularly knows that I'm not going to say I predicted the downfall of the Colts, but it was very clear their path to the playoffs even a few weeks ago was going to be extremely difficult because the Jags were ascending, because Houston was ascending, and they were going to have difficult divisional games down the line. But now Jones is hurt, so it may absolve them of what could have still been a missed playoff berth despite an 8-2 start because Jones got injured, even though they could have trended that way anyways, because they weren't beating the Jags in this game. Like, they just weren't. And I don't believe they would have beaten Houston again because I think they still have a Houston game, or at least they still have a Jags game on the schedule. So that's where it's like they kind of got bailed out by the injury, but where they go from here, I honestly don't know. I think they're kind of going in the toilet because they also, I believe, have to re-sign Jonathan Taylor, who is literally the only thing they have offensively.
Well, Taylor, Alec Pierce, they're going to re-sign Jones. They're going to re-sign Daniel Jones.
But it will be a 1-year rehab deal,
They're
right?
going to give him a one.
Be.
Yep. So now I'm trying to glass half full here because it was a bad bet. And I saw a lot of people saying, you know, this is why the ownership group, you know, Irsay's daughters that took over, not skilled enough you don't make this type. Nobody was saying that at the time, right? Push in for a cornerback. You're happy. Jets are happy. Neither here nor there. Revisionist history. We're not going to do that right now. But now you don't have to pay him $100 million. Hey, man, we're going to give you a 1-year, $8 million deal. If you get back on the field, you can earn up to $15 million. I mean, that is a fraction of the cost for even a backup quarterback today. It sucks for Daniel Jones because he's not going to get that payday. He was going to get it. Regardless of how Indy finished the season, they were probably going to have to re-sign him. Now you don't have a damn first-round pick. You got the quarterback that you made the bet on, right? I see a lot of people say trade for Kyler. I don't know what they do. I don't think they're going to be – I don't know, man. I don't know. I do think what they're going to do is control. They're going to try to control Jones with a 1-year deal. And if I'm Daniel Jones, you just take it, right? You're there. They kind of rehabilitated your career. They're the people doing the surgery on you. They know more about you. Who else is going to pay him? Who else is going to pay for a quarterback with the torn Achilles tendon? How much does this save Shane Steichen's job? You know, there was a lot of speculation coming into this year because of everything that had happened with Richardson, that if he didn't turn it around this year, he was going to be on his way out. It is an unfortunate injury, but he's young enough to come back at some point. He'll be back at some point in time. Damn it, we were just talking about Deshaun Watson potentially being back on the field with everything that has gone on with that. Tough break for the Colts, and honestly, to go from number 1 in the AFC South to probably the 3rd best team in the AFC South in a matter of a month, that's how quickly things can change in football, man.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate, but I think the other side of it too is like if you're Daniel Jones, where do you want to be for your rehab?
Right there.
Like, do you want to be in Indianapolis?
Right.
Hoping that you get to start.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other side of it too, right? Is if you're Indy, you probably want to bring him back because what are your options?
That's what I mean.
But if you don't have a lot, if you're Daniel Jones, maybe you do want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
and you can go be the backup on the Rams or something because they still need a backup quarterback. And yeah, he's injured, but like, what do they care? They don't need him to play, right? Matthew Stafford getting older, and maybe you just live in LA for a year.
Could be.
It's tough for Indy, and I hate it for Steichen because I do like Steichen a lot, and I think he's done a good job with this team. But it seemed like the writing was on the wall, and you compare them to a few spots. Like, would you rather be Indy or Carolina? You'd rather be Carolina. Would you rather be Indy or Miami? You'd rather be Miami, probably, even as bad as Miami is at times. And then even Pittsburgh is another situation where it's like, would you rather be Indy or Pittsburgh right now? And probably still rather have Pittsburgh as my team than Indianapolis.
Yeah, I have no clue where you're going with that one, Jay. But
I just think they're in a really bad spot. Like,
they're in a bad spot.
Would you be shocked if they're worse than the Titans next year?
Yes.
I wouldn't be, to be honest.
Yeah, I would be. I would be very shocked if they were worse than the Tennessee Titans. Let's pivot. That's a great segue to pivot into the game. JRich, the game.
The game.
Wow.
Not Ohio State, Michigan.
It was not Ohio State, Michigan, not that game, JRich. But we are talking about the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans, who gave us a thrilling, high-scoring affair. JRich, this was a game, I believe the point total on this one was 33 and a half points.
It was really low.
It was very, very, very low, and they went out there and put up damn near 60. JRich, they gave us 60. They gave us 60 total points, so they doubled what Vegas said that the projected scores would be in this matchup. With the Tennessee Titans win the game 31-29. The Titans pick up their second win of the season. The Cleveland Browns fall to 3-10. Titans 2-11. JRich, Myles Garrett had a sack in this game. He's got 20 total sacks on the season. Should break the record here very soon. We had Harold Fannin Jr. ball out in this game. We had Tony Pollard. Where the hell did this come from? Tony Pollard, 166 yards, ripping off long runs. I thought this Browns defense was... Listen, man, Tony Pollard was out there balling, JRich, but the story of the game, you know who it is. I know who it is. Hold up the wrist, JRich. It's all Shedeur. 12 versus 1. The 199,000th pick in the draft versus the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward. It was a battle between these two much-discussed quarterback prospects just a mere few months ago, JRich. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. Cam Ward, winning quarterback, had 117 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And just for optional completeness, half of his passing yards came in the opening drive. Half of his damn passing yards in the total game came in the first drive, where he was lights out. Those first 10 scripted plays, he was lights out. Had 50 yards, right? Drove the team down the field, hit Elick Manor for a touchdown. I'm like, oh man, here we go, Cam Ward. Cam Ward ready to dial it up, ready to prove that Kurt Benkert right. And then it just didn't continue. Like the momentum didn't continue.
And he threw the pick.
Well, then it went downhill from there. But Shedeur Sanders, JRich, Shedeur balled out. Despite some of the situational stuff happening in Cleveland. 364 passing yards, led the team in rushing, 29 damn rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 bad Shedeur level interception that I got on him for. He also ran the ball in, scrambled in, 4 total touchdowns. QB2 on the week right now in fantasy football.
Stafford, yeah.
Wow. QB2 for the 5th round pick.
Or sorry, behind Allen.
Yeah, behind Josh Allen. Jay, he's the first Cleveland Brown quarterback this year to throw for 300 yards. He's the first,
really?
What is it?
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking. Believe the first rookie quarterback to have 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing 350 passing yards and a rushing touchdown in the game. Joe Burrow to do that. Talk about it, Bat. I want you to talk about your thoughts. Talk about the game, Shedeur's play. Talk about the reaction of people. Talk about what's next. I want you to go talk about this one, man.
So this game was interesting for a lot of reasons. One, Tennessee actually played reasonably well offensively at times, right? But on Shedeur's case, he was playing from behind pretty much the entire game. And I think it's funny because you just look to what we've seen in quarterback play this season. Shedeur Sanders has first-round talent. Like, he absolutely does. In this draft class, there's no doubt about it. And I think the sad part about this team is that the Cleveland Browns aren't a good team, but he still gave them every chance to win. And that's really all you can ask of a rookie quarterback. He kept them in this game. You could say it's Tennessee if you want, but he made a ton of really good throws out there that you just haven't seen from Cleveland the entire year. You haven't seen from some of the quarterbacks in this rookie class period at all. And he's doing it with Harold Fannin as leading receiver. Jerry Jeudy did make a great play on a slant / skinny post that Shedeur threw to him. But outside of that, Jeudy hasn't done a whole lot. Like, he's not doing it with all these great playmakers all over the field. He's just doing it because he's a good quarterback. And he places the ball extremely well. And he's doing all the things that, tally evaluators like yourself, film guys have watched and say, what are the things that Shedeur does well? Whether you like him or not, what are the things he does well? He's great in the pocket. He may hold the ball too long, but he also has great placement when he throws the football. He can layer throws extremely well. He can do a lot of things that, frankly, Dillon Gabriel can't do. And so even today, it's not that we're wondering why Gabriel wasn't starting. We know why Shedeur wasn't starting. They didn't want him to start. It's very clear. But now that he is starting, the question has to be asked is like, well, how long do you kind of let Shedeur go? And should you give him an opportunity to be the starter next season? Because that's the way he's trending right now. If he continues to throw for near 300 yards a game, win, lose, or draw, they should continue to try and develop Shedeur Sanders further, and they should just fire Kevin Stefanski. Because the fact that they didn't have him on that final play when he is the only reason they had a chance to potentially win that game or tie that game is ridiculous. And it's not Shedeur's fault. And he's saying all the right things at the podium. And that's why I have to give him a ton of credit. He is doing all the right things and everything people criticized him for. Being arrogant, flexing the wrist on Jeffrey Simmons in the middle of the game, because that was funny, and that's just a good moment in football. But when it comes to the media and doing things the right way, Shedeur actually has been a true professional, despite all of the hate and criticism he gets on a regular basis. And let's be honest, he played very well in this game, and it might be one of the best performances we've seen from a rookie quarterback this season.
Let's listen to Shedeur talk about his pick.
Everybody interception, I say I feel we stagnant, I'm trying to get a spark. I'm trying to, so that's all it is. And as the game goes on, as time goes on, and I know my dad mad at me for that, for sure. I know the team, everybody is. But I would say, as time goes on, those decisions and those things, will slim down, and we won't be in situations where I have that feeling, like I got to make something happen. So yeah.
That was him talking about the interception that he threw. I listened to the whole press conference, man, and love him or hate him, right? And I don't even understand why people dislike him, because he's just him. He's just him. I sat back and I watched Fernando Mendoza give his post-game speech, right? He's animated, charismatic, but the reaction to him is, oh, he's a dork, he's a nerd, he's a geek, I love him, right? Fun. The fake internet world are such easily fooled sheep that it's ridiculous, JRich. Somebody gets up on in front of a damn camera and says something funny. Keon Coleman eats fruit snacks. Everybody loves it. Loves it. Oh, it's so funny. So cute, right? You go up there and be like, hey, I deserve to be here. I think I'm one of the best. I'm going to go get it. People don't like that. People don't like that level of confidence, man. And since taking over as the starting quarterback, since being picked 5th round, JRich, have you ever heard him complain? Have you ever heard him bitch or cry about not doing this, not doing that? Nobody. Not one time, Jay. Have you heard any negative report about him in practice? They ask him, they bait him, they ask him, bait him, and he says this is the team. They asked him about the play call with Stefanski. They asked him about the 2-point play call. He said, my job is to execute the thing that is called. I would never change a play. Like, he said everything, and people still, Jay, can't vibe with that. I don't like him. I still don't like him. It's obvious that bullshit pulling him off the field on 2-point conversion tries is ridiculous. Like, it's really cringeworthy to watch it, right? He gets them down there, and then we're gonna pull him out and just run Wildcat every time. Every time. And then the first time they let him throw the ball in the red zone, what happened?
Touchdown.
Beautiful throw to David Njoku. You know what doesn't look too wobbly today? The arm strength. Arm strength looked fine to me. Ball placement and accuracy. Jay, did it look good to you? Look good to me.
Look good to me.
Right? Are there some areas of his game that he needs to clean up? Yes. Every time he reverse pivots out of the pocket, bad things happen. Stop doing it, Shedeur. But in this game, and we got a group chat, man. We got some very reactionary people in our group chat. First drive of the game, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, there's no difference. He stinks. Somebody in our group chat, which will remain nameless, but the hot take quarterback king himself, he stinks, right? First drive of the game. And I'm like, dude, are you not watching the game? He's climbing the pocket. He's getting the ball out. He's not taking bad sacks, right? The interception, I get him. I'm trying to make a spark. Don't do that, right? But every step of the way, despite everything, despite a head coach who's pulling him off the field when he drives he's doing and saying the right thing. How could you not be impressed, man? How can you not be impressed? And whether he should have been picked at the top of the draft, JRich, in the second round or in the third round, the fact that he fell to the fifth round is BS, right? We all know why it happened. I got slammed because he was my quarterback one, not because I liked his name, but because I'd watched his maturation from Jackson State. I actually watch football, right? There's a lot of people out here who talk about this shit. They don't watch, man. They don't watch. I don't know everything, JRich. I'm going to be wrong a lot, but what I do know is that ever since I can remember personally being old enough to remember shit, football has been a part of my life. I was fortunate enough to play a little bit of college ball, right? I'm fortunate enough to have friends that have played high-level football. I'm fortunate enough to be in a position now to talk to folks that are involved at the highest level of football. Like, I actually watched the game, man. And I know that it's Tennessee. I know that this wasn't the 85 Bears. This wasn't the 2000 Ravens, right? Hell, this wasn't the Dallas defense of 2 weeks ago. But the Tennessee Titans have played other quarterbacks in the NFL who have not thrown for 300 yards versus them. He's doing it with Judy and Tillman and no running game.
Yeah, this game they can run.
Like, come on, man. I still am very hesitant and skeptical on his future success in Cleveland because part of me, Jay, I don't think it's Stefanski's call. Part of me feels like this is a higher power saying, don't put him out there. He can't look good. Didn't they already say he wasn't my pick? Didn't the owner already come out and say he wasn't my pick? And I'm telling you right now, Jay.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah.
He came out, he said it wasn't my pick.
Yeah.
This ain't my dude. Did you see the clip of Deion Sanders pulling up to the facility? Stefanski and all of them on their knees glazing, JRich, that Deion is in the building. This reeks of some other stuff, and you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? Because they're the Browns, JRich, because they're the Browns, they're going to draft Fernando Mendoza or Ty Simpson or Dante Moore, and you know what they're going to have in the summer? 4 damn quarterbacks. They're going to have Mendoza, Shedeur, Watson, and Dylan Gabriel. And you do we really, man, let's be real here, Jay. Why is Mendoza a better quarterback prospect than Sanders? I'm going to tell you right now, Ty Simpson ain't. He ain't. Ty Simpson is not a better quarterback prospect than Shedeur Sanders. No, he isn't. Dante Moore could be. I think Dante Moore maybe, right? Maybe. It's his first goddamn year starting at Oregon. It's his first year starting. I'm not sold that Mendoza is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders as a prospect. Dude, these dudes, they're about to go up for Heisman, JRich. They don't hold a candle to what Mac Jones did in college, but yet we're supposed to. I don't give a shit what Dane Brugler or anybody says. I'm not buying these are high-level NFL quarterback prospects here in 2026. Not buying it. When you're comparing,
Mendoza did make some good throws in that game, though. He made some really good throws.
See, this is the shit I'm talking. Do you know how many go balls I've seen completed in college every single weekend? Like, come on, man. Do you know how many?
But you're not doing it against one of the best defenses in college history.
I've seen go balls completed against Ohio State numerous of times this season. It's the media.
Bit of credit for the things he's doing.
I'm not dunking on Mendoza. He's the QB1 in the class.
Definitely dunking on Mendoza a little bit.
I just
Yeah,
said
a little
that
bit you are.
I don't believe that he's some high level. They're comparing him to Goff. How do people feel about Goff 4 years ago when they traded his ass from the Rams to the Lions? You want to compare him to this Goff? A Goff that's been to Super Bowl? Like that's that.
But
Like
Goff,
that.
but
I'm
like
just.
Goff
I'm
took
just.
time, right? He took time.
I'm
Goff
not
took time.
buying it, JRich. I'm not buying it. Is Mendoza a better quarterback prospect than Jackson Dart? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't
Depends
care
on
what
you
any of
value,
them
'cause
say.
They're different, right? They're different
You
quarterbacks.
stick him in that quarterback room in Cleveland, and it's a goddamn disaster. It's a disaster.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a disaster.
But I think to your point, it's not necessarily because you're comparing Shedeur now to Mendoza, and you did compare them as prospects, to be fair. But like, I wouldn't expect Mendoza to beat out Shedeur in a true fair quarterback competition. Now, would you get that if Mendoza's number 1 overall pick? That's another conversation, because they didn't have a fair quarterback competition this year either, right? It was Gabriel. Now we're like, okay, so why was it Gabriel? That makes no sense. And Cleveland's going to do what they're going to do, and we kind of fully expect that. But I think they should at least give Shedeur a chance. Now, they have to bring in somebody, but maybe they're also, Ray, just playing the trade value game where it's like, okay, if you wanted to get into it now, we can. But, you put out a tweet, all the teams that apparently are going to replace their quarterback, and the 26 class can't replace all these quarterbacks, right? And Cleveland is a spot where maybe a quarterback could go, maybe a quarterback doesn't go. But then there's all these guys that could also be on the trade market, right? And Shedeur could be one of those quarterbacks. It seems unlikely because, again, he's still very inexperienced, but he could be one of those quarterbacks that a team says, you know what, let's trade for him, bring him into camp, and see what he could be in our offense.
Here's the tweet. So I framed it. I said they can't all get replaced by 26 quarterbacks. You got Tua in Miami, Kyler and Jacoby Brissett in Arizona, Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, Sam Darnold, I know he's locked up, but Sam Darnold in Seattle, the Browns, Daniel Jones in the Colts, the Jets, Michael Penix with his torn ACL, Geno Smith in Las Vegas, right? I left out New Orleans. I think they got their guy for a year. We'll talk about Tyler Shough in a little bit. I think they've got their guy for the year, and maybe some other fringy teams, but all these guys aren't getting replaced by 2026 quarterbacks. It's not happening. JRich. Yeah. I don't know. I thought he played very good football. And I said it early in the game. I thought he played well, but you go out there and you throw for 3, and he really should have 400 yards, Jay. Isaiah Bond left. It was a difficult grab. That 40-yard play, you're talking about a 400-yard, 4-touchdown performance in the NFL for a quarterback who didn't do shit in the summer because he's a 5th-round pick. Like, can you imagine knowing what we know now as the starter and how they call plays and what they do? Can you imagine what was happening in August when you couldn't see what was going on in practice? Can you imagine September? He was holding the damn clipboard, JRich. Holding the clipboard, running scout team. And in 3 games, he's gotten better every game. Was my kid. He can throw the ball, man. I said it at the time. He can throw the football. He can play point guard and everything. It does feel like he's matured a little bit, right? The way that he answers, maybe he was humbled by some of that, but the confidence is still there. He outplayed Cam Ward.
Trained, right?
He outplayed Cam Ward thoroughly in that game. When the biggest highlight for Cam Ward is him escaping a sack and throwing an incompletion, like the goalpost is all the way at the 20-yard line now. You're the opposite 20-yard line, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like that's what you want to. That's what you want to show me as to why he's a great quarterback, because he escaped the sack and threw an incomplete pass. Get the hell out of here with that, man.
Yeah, it's wild, but that's what happened, right? And I did want to ask you about this. Do you think that Myles Garrett going all out for these sacks kind of cost Cleveland the game? Because that left side was wide open because Garrett was so wide off that left tackle that, like, every time they ran that way, it was just a gaping hole. And Pollard scored, it was only 2 touchdowns, really, but there could have been a third that got called back because of holding. Like, it felt like the defense kind of bottled this game when they should have easily beat Tennessee, especially with the way the Texans played.
I mean, at this point, if you're asking me my just personal vibes of the situation, I think they all feel like they're playing for a lame duck coach, so everybody just getting theirs. Like,
what they got to do. Yeah.
Like, they're just, I'm going to go out to break this record. If they gash us for 250 yards, so be it. Damn linebacker, Devin Bush and Carson Schlesinger, you stop them, right? And then when Garrett did,
basically, right?
Yeah, and then when Garrett did decide to play the run, he was dominant doing that. He's best player in damn football, man. Myles Garrett is a beast. I still am skeptical. I don't think that it's going to work in Cleveland. I just don't. I think there are higher up people who don't want him to succeed. It'd be nice to see him get traded. It'd be nice for it to work out there, but I just don't trust the Cleveland Browns. Great performance from Shedeur Sanders. Do you feel any better about his dynasty right now? Would you rather Shedeur or Daniel Jones?
Oh, I'd rather have Shedeur.
Shedeur or Tua?
Just give me Shedeur. I'll probably still take Tua.
Shedeur or Penix?
I would take Shedeur. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But you definitely give him some credit, right? Like, you expect him to kind of stack a few good performances the rest of the season. But as you mentioned, we don't know what the outlook is beyond this year. Right? And I think you'd say the same about Penix with his injury.
Yeah. Oh.
Who knows what's going to happen in Atlanta next year.
Let's go to break, and then we'll hit some more games. We'll talk some more ball. We appreciate y'all being in the building. If you're here watching live, hit the thumbs up button on the channel. And if you're watching on X or you're watching after the fact, make sure you go to the channel, subscribe, and show some love over there. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the show. This Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday right here on the channel. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream if you are here live. Engage with the beautiful people in the Wake Up chat. Check out all the content on this channel. I will be talking more about college football, the NFL draft, where people sit a little later today on the channel. So make sure you check that out when I drop the video. And go to DDFFB, the fantasy football only channel where Scott Connor, Shane, Brandon, Dynasty Theory, Ty DeClaire, all the guys over there doing their thing. Check out the content over there. JRich, Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Man, it looked like our Bengals prediction was going to work for a while. It looked like it was going to work until Josh Allen put on the cape and said, I got it again.
Nah,
Josh Allen just,
it wasn't Josh Allen.
Josh Allen put the cape. Hey. The defense put the cape on. 2 big interceptions, back-to-back picks by Burrow. But Josh Allen,
that game up.
Josh Allen, the longest rush of his career. He had that in this game. It was another game of multiple passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. James Cook tried to fumble it away for the Bills. The defense saved James Cook. They still don't have a damn receiver worth anything. The 2 tight ends led the team in receiving against Cincinnati. Surprise, surprise. Joe Burrow was great and bad in the same game. T. Higgins had a big day. And Jamar Chase, man, ever since Spitgate, man, Chase has been a little. Got to get Jamar going, man. We got to get the alleged spitter going, man. Jamar Chase. But talk about that game, Buffalo. Big win for the Bills because it looked rough early. I'm like, oh man, our prediction of Cincinnati wasn't just coming to fruition. It looked like they were cruising to victory in this one, but nope. Couple of ill-advised turnovers by the Bengals. You know, Josh Allen again putting on the cape to get it done. Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. Talk about this one, Jay.
Yeah, this game was a complete disaster at the end by the Cincinnati Bengals. They were controlling this game handily. Ray, they went 10 for 12 on third down, and a lot of those were third and long. The Buffalo defense looked extremely soft early in this game, you know, whether it was 3rd and 8, check downs that we're still getting for first downs because they weren't wrapping up. Like, Cincinnati should have won this game pretty handily. And of course, those 2 Burrow turnovers just completely sunk them in the end of this one. But, you know, you have to give credit to Josh Allen. You know, you guys who watch the show know I love Josh Allen. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But they didn't deserve to win this game. Like, they didn't. And that's where it's difficult to kind of figure out what went wrong besides those 2 turnovers, because Burrow was playing so well prior to those 2 throws. It seemed like they could do whatever they wanted. And you can't really put the blame on anybody but Burrow. Yeah, sure, the defense gave up 39 points. I do think that defensively, Cincinnati, like, why are you not accounting for Allen to run? Because sure, he didn't run really in the first half, but it's like they're literally running 4 verts and there is no plan to throw the football at all. There's no spy.
Because they have no
Josh
linebackers,
Allen.
man. They got no linebackers, dude. They got no linebackers.
But you could at least try, right? Like, you really think that the game plan for Buffalo is to run 4 verts and throw it deep to one of those guys when you have Josh Allen?
Like, they're clearing out. They're clearing out.
They cleared up, and that's why he won. The touchdown run was just one of those plays, but then the same thing happened on the game-sealing first down. Like, it was a crazy game, and all credit to Buffalo for coming back. Even back, a few weeks ago when you asked me, is Josh Allen's MVP case dead when he lost to the Dolphins? And I said, nope. It's never dead, because Josh Allen is that good, and he showed it once again why he is easily one of the most valuable players in the NFL. But I did not think they deserved to win this game. Cincinnati choked it. The defense didn't play well, but that's kind of standard with Cincinnati.
It's par for the course.
And Buffalo's defense was bad too. It
they
really
were.
wasn't
they are.
much better.
They are.
And they are a bad defense, right? But it really comes down to those 2 picks from Burrow. Like, if that doesn't happen, they probably win the game. Maybe not easily, but they should win the game.
They don't win shit
and
easily.
Buffalo just took advantage of their... Yeah, Buffalo just took advantage of their opportunities and played a great game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Still, no receiver you could really trust in Buffalo. I mean, the Khalil Shakir touchdown catch, that was Josh Allen. I don't know how he completed that pass. I mean...
Ray, I don't know what it is.
Whoa.
Because obviously, I didn't play football at a high level. But it absolutely bothers me to no end that the defenders never look for the ball. They just face guard the receivers and pray they get in the way. I don't understand what it is. Like, for corners, I kind of get it. But, like, why? He's back there scrambling somewhere. And you're just like, I'm not even going to look.
It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the field at one time.
It's crazy, man.
I know, it is frustrating, but that's the game, man. I can
sure
assure you. I can assure you it happens even more so at the lower levels, not at the NFL. I mean, it's I've been there before, man. And you're like, damn,
just goes right through the hands.
Just go like how did that happen? Yeah. They're professionals, man. They're professionals.
Crazy.
Let's talk about the game in which we got a top 5 quarterback, the wide receiver 1 and the wide receiver 2, multiple top 10 running backs in fantasy scoring, all from one single game. Rams-Cardinals, JRich, NFC West, Los Angeles Rams, what was it, 45-17?
45-17, yeah.
45-17. JRich, Puka Nacua.
Told Devontae Adams to chill out this game, eh? Let me score some touchdowns, Devontae. How about that?
He told Devontae, oh, man, I got it this week. Puka Nacua, 7 receptions, JRich, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7.6 yards per route run. That Trinity score is going to be sky high this week. Puka, and then the touchdown catch. What they do? What the kids do?
He dunked on
what the
Will
kids
Johnson.
do? Head top?
Yep.
Is that what the kids do? Head top?
Yep.
Puka Nacua was incredible, JRich. Talk about the Rams. Matthew Stafford, he finally got things back going, got it going on track. That loss against the Panthers. I had a strong feeling McVay wasn't going to play no games this week. He wasn't going to play games after losing to the Panthers, right? Blake Corum, Kyren Williams, both of those guys, top 10 running backs on the week. Blake Corum, the best touchdown celebration this season was delivered by Blake Corum. And then I don't know where it was from or what it is, but it's hilarious and I love it. 128 yards for Corum, multiple touchdowns. Kyren Williams got in the end zone as well. Damn near 50-50 split. And everything that we thought about this Rams rushing attack under Sean McVay, one guy only, one band, one sound. They've got 2 running backs, and it's probably going to be a nice split moving forward. Corum looks like the guy that I thought he would be coming out of Michigan. Go check the channel out. I thought he looked like the guy that I thought he could be coming out of Michigan. Colby Parkinson, if you read the content on Yahoo, I said he'd score another touchdown this week. JRich, Colby Parkinson. It's almost like sometimes old GQ knows ball. Maybe not every day.
Him every week.
Maybe not every day, but yeah, keep scoring touchdowns. Since week 10 over the last month, Colby Parkinson tight end 5 in fantasy football over the last month. Still on waivers out there. Still on waivers. Talk about the Rams, man. Big win.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they needed this win because they need to keep pace in the NFC, right? So we all know that. But yeah, Stafford played a pretty good game in this one, 22 for 31, 281, 3 touchdowns. Very May-esque, right? Very May-esque in this game. And for some reason, he's ahead of May in the MVP race. But I do want to ask you about this backfield. I think that's the number one question when it comes to the Rams is how do you feel about this backfield? I don't know if Corum is taking over, but would I be shocked if Corum took over? Because he kind of looks more explosive than Kyren at this time. It's a split backfield.
Now, Kyren's running hard, man. Kyren doesn't want to get wildly pipped. He sees Kyren's running hard. Kyren's been explosive. Say what you want. He's been explosive. He's running. The competition is pushing old Kyren Williams. Now, I don't think there's going to be a take. I don't think it's a takeover, Jay. No, there's no takeover. I think they're playing exactly how Sean McVay and the Rams want them to play. Both those running backs getting touches. They both have their drives. They both have their moments.
Yeah, they're finally splitting those carries.
I think this is exactly how Sean McVay wants to operate the offense. On the other side of the ball, man, he's got more receiving yards right now currently than Marvin Harrison Jr. Michael Wilson.
Woof.
He's got more receiving yards. I think he's got 714 receiving yards to Marvin Harrison Jr.'s 594 receiving yards. And people will say, well, Marv's missed some time. Well, Michael Wilson didn't do shit for the first 5 weeks of the season, so he missed the first month of the season.
He's been running routes.
11 catches, 142 yards, and finally he got in the end zone, 2 touchdowns. The other 2 games without Marv, 10 for 118, 15 for 185. The one low game was last week versus, I think, Tampa Bay. He only had like 30-something yards. Marv was back. But Michael Wilson, whoa, Jay. I mean, I've never seen Marvin Harrison Jr. have this type of stretch over a month. I've never seen. Why will they not just prioritize 14?
Because he wasn't drafted number 4 overall. That's why. You know why. Right? If Michael Wilson was drafted 4th overall, then yeah, he'd probably get this every single week, but he wasn't. And so you got to justify that pick. And, you know, we said it before when we talked about Michael Wilson versus Marv. Even when Marv comes back, we should see something from Michael Wilson because he deserves it. He's playing at an extremely high level. And even Drew Pertzig, the OC, he talked about how he wanted to continue to involve Michael Wilson in the offense. And to his credit, he still had 7 targets in that game against Tampa Bay. It only converted to 3 receptions for 36 yards, but he got some targets even when Marv was in the game. But I think the bigger question now, and I believe you have this in the show sheet, is Marv the number 1 wide receiver in Arizona going forward, or should he be the number 1 wide receiver in Arizona going forward?
No, he shouldn't be. He absolutely should not be. He's had ample runway and ample time to show that he is the generational one, right? To show that he's the type of wide receiver prospect that don't need to do shit during the pre-draft process. I don't need to test. I don't need to run. I'm going to get picked high, which he did. 4th overall pick. He got dropped into an offense, Jay, where there wasn't anybody else. They needed him, right? He's not only is Marv not better than Michael Wilson, he's definitely not better than Trey McBride, right?
Yeah,
he's not better than McBride.
Sure.
He's probably the 3rd best passing option on that team. And that doesn't mean he's a bad player, but he's not the type of player that should be prioritizing an offense the way that Michael Wilson is. And even with Jacoby Brissett, like he hasn't been. There hadn't been a game or a stretch of games where Marvin Harrison Jr. has been utilized in this way, that plays as big as Michael Wilson plays, that comes down with the type of catches that Marv is a talented player. But no, man, he should not be a focal point of the offense. In the same mold that Brian Thomas Jr. can be very good in Jacksonville, but you just said Jacoby Myers, right? He unlocked the offense. He's the one that's getting the targets, right? He's the one that's getting the red zone looks from Trevor Lawrence. No, I do not think Marvin Harrison Jr. should be the priority in this offense. I do think that Michael Wilson has earned the opportunity in Arizona. Now, Jacoby Brissett is a big-time factor in all of this. Even when they're down by 1 million points, they don't take the offense off the field. They don't put the backups in. They're throwing that shit around to the end. Until the clock strikes 00, they're going to continue to launch the ball with Jacoby Brissett, who is also playing for a bridge type deal. And I don't know, he's kind of fallen off as well. Jacoby Brissett is kind of falling back to earth as well. But yeah,
if you're Arizona, though, you probably keep him.
If Arizona's staff is kept. They're kept.
That's fair.
I don't know, right? I don't know if they're going to keep Gannon and Petzinger. I don't know what they're going to do in Arizona, but I do know that Michael Wilson can play, and I believe they're going to have to make a decision on him at the end of this year. He was not a high pick. Mike Wilson was a third-round pick, so he probably had a 4-year deal, came in the league in 23. He's got one more year left, I believe. I think he's got one more year left on his deal. But what do you think? Marv versus Wilson.
Yeah, so Wilson does have one more year
That's
on
what I
his
thought.
deal
Yeah, one more.
before he comes to UFA. And I did want to point out that Michael Wilson, in his 3 starts, 3 of the last 4 games, without Marvin Harrison Jr., has more 100-yard games than Marvin Harrison Jr. has in his entire career, because he only has 2, none of which came this season. Michael Wilson has 3 in his last 4 and 3 in 3 starts without Marv on the field. But yeah, I think if you are the Arizona offense, you need to prioritize getting Michael Wilson the ball. Because to your point, Marv is a great red zone option, but he has not performed as a top receiver in the NFL quite yet. Maybe he can get there at some point, and I'm sure they need to justify that draft pick still to ownership, but Michael Wilson is your number 1 wide receiver. And Trey McBride is your number 1 pass catcher in the offense, and they should prioritize it as such, because Michael Wilson has already showed in a 4-game stretch he is a better NFL wide receiver at this stage than Marvin Harrison Jr. Doesn't mean he can't get there, but as of right now, the answer should be Michael Wilson.
Michael Wilson went to, somebody said in the chat, they don't know where he went. He went to Stanford. Michael Wilson is a Stanford.
We covered him extensively at
the
Senior Bowl.
Went to the Senior Bowl. We have interviews with Michael Wilson. We did. We talked to him extensively at the Senior Bowl. Stanford was his collegiate home. Somebody said Galladay. Is he like a Kenny Galladay type?
No.
No? I'm talking about Galladay before, like, he fell off, when Galladay was good in Detroit, when they were calling him. What were they calling him?
He was trying?
What was his name? It was something Tron. It was something. It was an iteration off of Megatron.
Was it Minitron?
I don't know what it was, but I think it was some Transformer Tron name. I don't know which one it was, Jay. All right, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears game. Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns. Caleb Williams up and down in that game. It was sort of scarred by the late interception, final throw from Caleb Williams of the day. Keyshawn Nixon came down with it, targeting that Cole Kmet when he should have just ran the ball and picked up the first down. Yep. Neither here nor there, JRich. Packers got the dub. Christian Watson. How many times do I have to keep saying it, man? How many times do I have to keep saying it?
Literally since he came back.
I keep saying it. We put out shows. Trusted Trinity. I tweet about it. He's not going to get 15 targets. He's not. But he's going to get the downfield shots. He's going to get end zone shots. They need to continue to prioritize getting Christian Watson the ball. Big game from him. 2 touchdowns. He definitely delivered for us. Josh Jacobs, the bell cow that he is, JRich. Anytime he's on the field, he's just going to get the rock. Bell cow Jacobs did his thing. On the Bears side of the ball, man, I tweeted this out. And I'm going to pull it up. Because I tried to frame it and word it very carefully, because I know a lot of people say, oh, completion percentage, that's not the best stat for quarterbacks, yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's fine. I just want you to go pull up Caleb Williams' game log, Jay. Just go pull up his game log while I read this off, okay? So the tweet says, I know completion percentage isn't everything, but in his last 10 games, Caleb Williams has failed to eclipse 60% completion percentage just one time. Right? Only one time. He's done it one time. The arm talent is there. The speed is there. The athleticism is there. But the down-to-down accuracy at some point has to be better. You're talking about a quarterback. You just start looking at just raw completion percentage, 52%, 47%, 50. These are JRich level numbers, JRich. Like, these aren't the numbers that you want to hear from your number 1 overall pick starting quarterback. And it's 1,000% impacting the pass catchers. Everybody 100%. Bitching and complaining about Rome Odunze. Nobody's good. None of the pass catchers are good in Chicago. None of them. Right? Luther Burden led the way. He's 67 yards. Hooray.
Not so bad for Luther Burden.
We'll take the 10 points, Jay. But outside of that, Colston Loveland, he scored the touchdown, but ain't nothing there. And he's splitting work with Cole Kmet. DJ Moore, 1 catch, -4 yards. Go look at his last 5 games, Jay. He's got a 0-yard game. He's got a -4-yard game. He's got an 11-yard game. And then he's got a 2-touchdown game. Like, he looked completely uninterested in playing football.
Yeah.
They can run the ball, and Monanga's awesome, and DeAndre Swift gets it done. But Caleb has got to be better, Jay. Caleb has got to be better. He's got so much talent, so much potential, but he's got to play better. He's got to play better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the sad part for Caleb is even in the last, 5 games, his highest yards per attempt was in the Pittsburgh game, and it was 6.8. So it's not like he's airing the ball out down the field and making all these difficult throws. Like, we're talking about a guy who completed 47% of his passes against the Eagles on 4.3 yards per attempt. So he's not throwing the ball down the field and still not completing passes. Even against Green Bay, 5.3 an attempt on 35 attempts. Like, I understand where people are coming from with Caleb, and like, we always try to give Caleb benefit of the doubt because like, we know that the talent is there, and it's like, well, how long do you believe in Caleb? How long is Ben Johnson going to believe in Caleb? Because he is the limiting factor of this team. They still ran the ball for over 100 yards and ran the ball effectively at times and stretches throughout this game. The limiting factor of this team right now is Caleb Williams. Like, that is the reason why they're not playing much better football and a more dominant team. Because if he was playing well, or Ray, just keep it simple. You throw Jared Goff on this team, they're probably, 10-2 at least? Like, they're winning significantly more games, and it's just because he hasn't been good enough. And they're winning in spite of him. And we talked about this after the bye week. He was throwing the ball over the place, and he was completing passes, but they really reined him in and focused on the run game after the bye week. And Ben Johnson made that switch early, and it's been the same ever since. But if you got an efficient Caleb Williams with that running game, they would be so much better offensively. And that's kind of what we got against Philly. But overall, Caleb is playing as like a bottom 10 quarterback at best, maybe even as a bottom 5 in terms of efficiency.
So Caleb Williams has the worst. I know you can't see it on the screen right now. Let me move this down, JRich, a little bit. He's got the worst completion percentage in the NFL. CPOE, completion percentage over expected, the worst in the NFL. Second worst bad throw percentage in the NFL for Caleb Williams as well. So, yeah. Worse than Cam Ward, worse than Joe Flacco when he was out there, the worst in the NFL.
Rodgers,
people talking about Bo Nix, negative 3.2% CPOE, Caleb, negative 7.5% CPOE. He's just got to play better. And it's not benefiting any of the pass catchers in Chicago right now. Their defense is,
opportunistic.
They're opportunistic, right? They're opportunistic. You're not going to confuse them with the shutdown defense.
Yeah, they're not Denver, they're not Houston.
They're playing complementary football. Caleb has got to be better with the ball. And I thought he made his second half yesterday was great up until that final throw. I thought he was awesome in the second half of that game, but he's got to be better. He's got to be better. Any other takeaways from the Green Bay side of the ball?
I would just point out that Jaden Reed was the second leader in receiving, right?
Yeah,
that was surprising. Yeah. So you get Christian Watson back off injury, and you get Jaden Reed back, these are your top 2 options. Again, are they fantasy viable? Not really. Christian Watson is, Jaden Reed not so much. But if this is the offense we're going to get from LaFleur going forward, it's worth noting because Jaden Reed obviously has been missing for many weeks, and to have him back definitely elevated the offense a little bit. And Jordan Love back into the top 10 at quarterback. He had a great game against the Bears defense that still picked him off, but he played pretty well.
JRich, got to talk about him. Your boy was back. He was back after missing the Seattle game. 9 was back on the field. JRich, look at that smile. 9, 3 touchdowns. No interceptions, 163 yards, and I'm waiting for the NFL Player of the Week award. Should win Player of the Week.
Should for sure.
He should not just NFC, NFL Player of the Week, right? Just overall best player of the week. JJ McCarthy, man. 9, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 163 yards, and a blowout victory over the Washington Commanders. Did you see remember what Seattle did to Brosmer, right? Remember what he did to Brosmer?
I do.
Did you go take a look at what they did to Kirk Cousins yesterday, JRich? McCarthy just skipped all of that. Cousins was stank out there. 2 picks, beaten, battered, and bruised. McCarthy didn't have to deal with it. He came back against the Washington Commanders. And I don't know if you saw it like I saw it, Jay. Play calling was outstanding.
Yeah, it looked good.
Phenomenal. The type of plays that were drawn up to free up those Josh Olivers, to free up that TJ Hawkinson. Kevin O'Connell was in his deepest of bags to make sure that this performance was stellar, to make sure that he wouldn't be the topic of conversation. And thank God for Kevin Stefanski and J.J. McCarthy. 9. Kevin O'Connell is safe for another week. All is right in Minnesota. All is right in Minnesota.
Minnesota Vikings.
The vibes are great, JRich. You know, did you hear Justin? Matter of fact, talk about 9 while I pull up the Justin Jefferson clip. Talk about 9.
Yeah, I mean, J.J. McCarthy was great in this game. I don't want to give him too much credit, but he looked good, right? Credit to him. He hasn't looked good for the large majority of this season, but 16 for 23, even for only 100. Obviously, they had complete control of this game. Oh, did I freeze up?
Yeah. You froze up something. I didn't do anything. You did that to yourself. You froze up something nasty. Let's listen to Justin Jefferson, JRich. Listen to Jefferson. He was asked if he can enjoy himself despite not getting the ball a lot. Here's Jefferson.
Of course. I mean, when you win, I'd rather win and not get the ball than lose and not get the ball.
I'd rather win and not get the ball than lose and not get the ball. Which lets me know Jefferson, he's probably still a little bit like, hey, what's going on? This is another game, JRich. 2 catches, 11 yards for Jefferson. He will finish this season, his worst statistical season of his career. He will not make the Pro Bowl. He will not be an All-Pro. The Madden rating will drop. Justin Jefferson still hasn't gotten it going. Now, the Vikings get the Dallas Cowboys next week, so potentially favorable matchup. Confidence level fantasy playoffs with Justin Jefferson.
0. What? Confidence level in Justin Jefferson? I mean, yes, 0 is hyperbolic, but do I like it much more than like a 3? No, because JJ doesn't throw the ball, right? Like, unless they're down like 1,000 points, which to be fair, against Dallas, in Dallas, they may be down a lot early. Where's the upside? Like, where does it come from? If we don't view J.J. McCarthy as being a quarterback with some upside for even 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, or even 2 touchdowns at that, like, it's not really there. So sure, you have Dallas, they got the Giants, they got Detroit at home, and then Green Bay in week 18, but we don't care about that for fantasy. But the next 3 weeks just don't look very appealing beyond maybe the Dallas game because it's indoors. But like, do you trust JJ at the Meadowlands in December? I don't, right? I don't want to play Jefferson in that game. Could he have a good game? Sure. But is JJ going to throw for 300 yards in the snow? Probably not. Maybe he can. I don't really like it, man. It's a bad situation. The upside just really isn't very good right now for Jefferson. But I think the problem is now everyone kind of knows it. So you can't act on what we're seeing. If you didn't already trade him away for a really good haul, it's going to be very difficult to get a return you're happy with. You kind of got to ride him out. But at this stage, Ray, would you say he's any more than like a second flex on your roster? Because I think that's where he's at right now. He seems like he's a flex at best.
Yeah, I mean,
and even in starting 3 wide receiver leagues, you don't want to start him. Like, you just don't.
We talked about it on Friday, and I think we talked about Jefferson in particular and the next receiver that we'll talk about, saying that we didn't want to tell people not to start him, but it was a rocky looking outcome, and it didn't work. He's got Dallas next week. I believe that's who they play. I think it's Minnesota.
Dallas in Dallas. Then the Giants in Meadowlands, so it'll be in the cold, right? And then Detroit at home for the finals. But you won't be in the finals if he doesn't.
No, you won't make it there. You won't make it there. All right, Jay, let's talk about your boy for real. Your for real boy. Let's move on to another quarterback, Mr. Finger Guns himself, Tyler Shough. JRich, the first Saints rookie quarterback with multiple wins in their first season since Archie Manning. Tyler Shough didn't throw the ball well. He didn't throw the ball well. He did not throw the ball well, but he ran the ball well. 2 rushing touchdowns, critical. Where he played well was when they needed him to have it at the end of the game. It was fourth quarter, about 3 minutes left, and they needed a first down to keep the ball out of Tampa Bay's hands. Tyler Shough delivered a dime. First down, right? Yep. I don't know what he's going to be long term, but here's what I do believe. The Saints don't need to draft a quarterback. Not early. They're not in the quarterback market early. Tyler Shough is the quarterback for next year. So if you can still acquire him somehow in Dynasty, that would be a move that I make. At least you got a quarterback for a year that has some rushing upside. They drafted Kelvin Banks out of Texas. Great pick up front. You got Tyler Shough, great pick. And then the running game with Devin Neal. He had a career day. Looks like a pretty solid draft haul right now from the New Orleans Saints. Tyler Shough doing his thing. Other side of the ball, Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. Talked about it on Friday, JRich. It stinks.
Are we giving Baker a pass? I'm not.
No.
I think he was awful again.
No.
He was awful against the Saints the first go-around, and he was awful against the Saints this time.
No pass. Awful. Awful. I'm not giving him a pass, Jay. And we talked about Egbuka on Friday. He still went out there and had the most targets. Again, dropped the damn touchdown pass. Finished the game with 2 damn catches.
Yep.
I mean, his fall off over the last 6-7 weeks has been wild. This was a player that people said, I won't trade him for nothing in Dynasty. When Puka wasn't scoring touchdowns, I remember, the hell with Puka, Nacua, give me a Egbuka, right? How can I trade my Puka to get Egbuka plus? Trade a Puka for an Egbuka. Right? Get out of Neighbors for Egbuka.
Give me that Egbuka.
People just dump on Rome like he's the only one that Egbuka's fallen off the face of the map. Baker Mayfield's been stank. Baker's been terrible, Jay. He's been terrible.
Yeah. I mean, Ian Hartitz tweeted it out yesterday. Emeka Egbuka, weeks 1 to 5, 20.5 PPR points per game. He was wide receiver 3. Weeks 6 through 14, 8.9 points per game, which is wide receiver 47. So he is literally killing you out there every week you start.
You can start 46 other receivers and get better outcome than that.
Yeah. It's a disaster in Tampa Bay, and it has been for weeks now. Ever since the Detroit game when they absolutely stunk it up.
You have not bought into the offense. I'll give you credit. You have been very hesitant to buy in on Egbuka this season. You've never really questioned his outlook long term, but you were very hesitant to buying into him being elite early asset for the season. You were, Jay.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, I was wrong about Rome, but it was the same principles as to why I wanted Tet McMillan over Egbuka. Like, it was the exact same principles. It's like you're buying into a role in an offense that is never going away because there's nobody there. Say what you want about Bryce Young, say what you want about Baker Mayfield, 2 drastically different quarterbacks. But when Bryce Young is playing better than Baker Mayfield, you want McMillan because he's going to be the better asset. And Chris Godwin outscored Egbuka once again, right? And that's probably only going to happen because
if Egbuka would have caught that damn if he would have caught the touchdown, he would have outscored Godwin. He should have caught the ball.
Yeah,
should have caught the ball.
Should have. But Baker's been awful. So it is what it is.
Who does Tampa Bay play next week?
Give me one.
Who do they play next week? They've got a good playoff schedule. This is why it's like the Falcons, the Dolphins. They got a good playoff schedule. It's Dolphins, Falcons, and another team that they should be able to.
They have Atlanta at home on Thursday. So short week. Mm-hmm. That'll be fun.
We're not going to talk about Atlanta today. We're gonna pass on. We're gonna pass on Atlanta. Let's Where else do we need to get to? Let's talk through this last one. Let's talk Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Come on, man, chill out. Chill. It's obvious, man. Listen, Ravens are done.
Did they get screwed in that game, though?
Yes, they got screwed, man. Dude,
Isaiah,
this the last time if I say it again, JRich, I won't come on the show anymore. This is the last time I'm gonna say it. Lamar needs help, man. Lamar needs help. The tight end that they just paid $40 million to, he had one damn catch in the game. One catch in the game. Andrews couldn't get open. Bateman on 4th down, in which he would have scored a walk-in touchdown, clanks off his hands. Just clanks off his hands, drops the ball. JRich. Lamar put it right there. Climbs pocket, put it right there. Right? Derrick Henry, he does what he can do.
Yards.
He does what he can do.
Total yards.
He's fine. He's fine. Keaton Mitchell ran out of gas. Old Keaton Mitchell would have scored. And Isaiah Likely. That was a touchdown. Come on, man. Like, you're screwing him. Jay, he needs some help. They need a real... Zay Flowers was phenomenal in the game. Good job, Zay Flowers. He was awesome.
We were wrong
he
on
looked
Zay
like,
Flowers.
He looked
Very
like Antonio Brown out there. Good AB, right? Likely, how's that not a touchdown, Jay? Bateman, catch the damn ball. Lamar's got a bad hammy. He's running around. You got to get some help. The left guard, Falele, dude, the worst left guard I've ever seen in my life. The worst offensive lineman, and he's like 6'8". The worst lineman I've ever seen. Listen, Aaron Rodgers was good. Aaron Rodgers was good in this game.
He was really good.
We were wrong about both of these. DK out there looking like Justin Jefferson.
I told you. Why can't they just throw it deep to DK?
Throw it deep. There's
5
DK.
plays in. DK on the field.
Dude, I'm giving DK Metcalf much. I'm bomb dropping DK. They had him on damn punt team, JRich. Last punt of the game. He's a gunner on punt team to tackle the punt returner. DK.
Crazy.
Aaron Rodgers was awesome.
That's a team player right there.
Aaron Rodgers was awesome. DK was great. And I like their rushing game. Kenneth Gainwell, Gainwell is good, man. They need to give him some more rush. I know he didn't run the ball a lot.
17 for 34.
Watch the game. Watch the game. Warren was good.
One of my main games.
Warren was good when they got him opportunity. Gainwell good in the receiving game. I like their backfield. Caleb Johnson was out there, Jay Rich. Caleb Johnson was out there executing doing great play fakes. I mean, the way that they fake him the ball when he runs it,
that's Aaron Rodgers, right?
It's exciting. Aaron Rodgers. It's exciting. But yeah, Ravens are done, Jay. And honestly, is Lamar even going to be there for your fantasy championship? Is Lamar going to be around come week 17?
Probably
Probably
they shouldn't
not.
Be that out of it. Probably. I mean, Ray, you know what's funny is, sure, he could be around, but do you really want to play him at Green Bay? Is that the game that you want to bet on Lamar Jackson for your fantasy championships?
No.
Probably not. Probably not.
No,
at
it isn't.
Cincinnati, though, not so bad.
All right, Jay. All right, that's the show. Hit the music, man. Woo! Big Monday. Big Monday. Maybe there were some players we didn't talk about, but we'll be back on Wednesday. Wrapping up Week 14, moving on to Week 15. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. NFL draft content dropping today. Today, JRich. We got a Monday night game. Philly, LAC. Who wins?
Man, the way this week went, I kind of think the Chargers might win this game. But I picked Philly, and I will continue to roll with Philly. I think they get it done.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Philly as well. Yeah, that's the show. Week 14. Hopefully, you're doing well. Fantasy playoffs are setting up well. Oh, GQ, where am I in that old Scott Fishbowl, JRich?
You are currently 7th on the week.
7th
in Scott
place.
Fishbowl. Ball out.
Hey, got to trust the Trinity, baby.
Through, too.
Hey, good job, JRich. You started at Shedeur. Get us out of here, JRich. Get us out of here, man.
Thank you, everybody, for tapping into the stream. We, of course, will see you on Wednesday. Make sure you tap into all the great content on DDFFB and the stuff that Ray will drop for the draft on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys later. We're out. Peace.
Peace.